Hi guys, welcome to K's Pro Tips. I'm Project K, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to mix some soulful vocals in Pro Tools. I'm basically going to be showing you how to mix some harmonies and stuff. So as you can see here, I got a couple of harmony vocals going on here, a whole bunch of stuff, a few guitars and so forth. It's a very acoustic sounding song. To give you a little bit more background on the song that we are going to be using today, the song was written by a group called The Disciples. They're a Lesotho-based Christian hip-hop, soul, R&B kind of band. And yeah, they featured Tariro, which is my sister. They featured her on some harmonies in the song. And we basically just did the song in my parents' basements. But I'll play you guys a bit of the song, and then you guys can, and I'll tell you a bit more background about what we used gear-wise just to achieve this. So take a listen and then tell me what you think in the comments below, and also take a look at the Facebook page and just see what else these guys are up to. They're really talented. Okay, I'll play you the song.
Chabasa Yesu panabatisile dumelang reale dumedisa kere Chabasa Yesu panabamusheshwe dumelang reale dumedisa ki khale re batlana le khotso ya pelo tsa rona hariteli ki khale re batlana le khotso ya pelo tsa rona hariteli mautum pepe pilunkise pelege moriang nakere mautum pepe pilunkise pelege moriang Ritwahule
Okay, that's The Disciples, all the way from Lesotho, the mountain kingdom. Okay, let's break this down real quick. We've got a couple of guitar tracks. We've got we got a main vocal, obviously, which goes on in the chorus and in the main verse. And then we've got a couple of harmonies in different places throughout the chorus. And sometimes it's a 3-part harmony. Most of the time, actually, it's a 3-part harmony. And depending on what the main singer's doing at certain times, sometimes it's a 4-part harmony. But for the most of it, it's actually just a 3-part harmony. Even in the chorus, like with the main singer, they actually form a 3-part harmony. Okay, so the reason I'm mentioning this is because when you're doing harmonies or mixing multiple voices together, you always gotta keep in mind your stereo image, because obviously for obvious reasons you can't have everybody bang in the center and taking up the main position for the song, where that will be the most prominent thing at that point in time. So when you're mixing a choir or you're mixing multiple taker vocals or harmonies and stuff like that, you always got to keep in mind like your where you're placing things and so forth, right? Okay, so on another note, I'm sure you guys heard that the guitar's a bit noisy and stuff like that. It's because it was just a little fun project that we were doing at the time. Um, this specifically, like you can hear it on the guitar track. On the I also had a line in. The noise is mainly on the line itself. The reason we actually tracked the line and kept it in the track even though it's noisy is that we wanted it to feel like a natural acoustic song. We wanted it to feel like it had like characteristics of something you would experience live, because this is what these guys actually sound like when they play live, when they at shows and stuff like that. I mean, I've actually played with them in church and stuff, and they actually sound just this good in church, and you know their harmonies and stuff like that it's enjoyable, you know. So we don't want to lose the essence of that, of what they can produce in a live environment, and just by bringing the track into a studio or into a recording environment. So okay, what we used, we had an Mbox 2, my old Mbox 2 at the time, and we had just a simple condenser microphone. We had this microphone here, I'll show you a page, the Studio Projects B1. It's a very simple mic, you know, specs are nothing to, you know, to call home about, but you know, the point is you shouldn't put so much faith in your gear. It's not about the gear at the end of the day. The end of the day is about, if you have a good song and you have a good idea and you have a little bit of direction as into how you want to produce it, you can actually come up with something really good. So let's keep that in mind. And from a mix perspective, I didn't really do much. I used very simplistic techniques. I just used the CLA vocals and CLA guitars. Like I literally mixed this entire song with just CLA plugins. You know, I didn't really have any like special EQs or compressors, and I didn't really create any buses per se. You know, like yeah, I think I created instrument trackers at one point. We were like just referencing notes for some of the harmonies and stuff. We had like a little mini grand there or something, you know, but it really wasn't anything, you know, like amazing, but it sounds awesome. You know, it sounds like we spend a lot of time on stuff. We did spend a bit of time, but like the main point here I'm trying to get across is that your performance and your production are the most important things when doing something like this. So I'm gonna play you the main vocals without the plugin, and you can hear what those sound like. Okay, by themselves.
Chabasa Jesu banabatisile dumelang reale du medisa.
Okay, I'm gonna play that phrase again, but with the plugin on, and show you what I turned on the plugin itself. Okay.
Chabasa Jesu banabatisile dumelang reale du medisa.
Okay, so we've got a bit of low end going there because, you know, he has a bit of balls in his voice. I've turned down the highs a bit because his voice was a bit peaky and on the T's and the S's and stuff like that, and we left it on spank, which I think is a CLA 3, and it's really smacking the vocals quite nicely. You've got a little bit of a chamber, more large room, or call it like a hall, kind of reverb effect on it, 8th on the delay, and a spread. I think it's just really a chorus and a stereo widener, but I've toned those down a little bit just so they do a little bit of an effect, because we wanted it to sound epic and scory, kind of the vocal, right? Just yeah. So once we did that, we did the harmonies, and I'm gonna play you this specific line here, and so you guys can hear that.
Reale du medisa.
Okay, I played without the effect.
Reale du medisa.
Okay, can you hear the breath in his voice? Listen to that.
Reale du medisa.
Okay, like he's breathing out the word. It's just those type of things that help enhance that specific thing you're trying to do.
Really do medisa.
It's the same. We do this one.
Really do medisa.
Okay, he's doing a little bit of a lower one there. And the way I mixed these from a stereo positioning point of view, if you take a look here, harmony A is a bit like if this was a non-stereo channel, it'll probably be about, I would say maybe 10, 11 o'clock over here. This here the same, 10, 11 o'clock. Harmony B, C's in the center because it's the lower one. So obviously these two are the same. So I spread them apart. So they have basically a different position on opposite sides of each other to kind of balance each other out. And then this one, because it's different, I leave it in the center, and it helps enhance the main vocal, which when you play them together sounds like this. This is all of them dry. Okay, except for the first one.
Really do medisa.
So before I've even put any effects, you can already hear that the vocals are in the right place. So you gotta think about positioning people and where you want to place them on your spectrum or on your stereo field, right? Okay, so once I put all the effects on them,
really do medisa.
you see how it all sounds epic and big together. And because he's doing such a soft little thing on the main vocal, it allows these harmonies here to come out and to pop out a little bit more. So it's things like that you gotta keep in mind. Like obviously when they wrote this, they had practiced it and said, okay, you gotta chill out there while we're doing this harmonies, type of thing, so that it makes more sense. Like we're enhancing this part with these specific harmonies. So it's the same type of concept that they continued with. Like if you listen to this harmony here,
really do medisa.
that's the same thing, and here. Yeah. So once you get to different harmonies and you've already placed them in their different spaces and different stereo position, it makes more sense once you put them all together. Okay, now if we go to the chorus, I'll play you that. The chorus is very, very, very arty. Okay, so now we've got 4 harmonies in the chorus. I should actually call this harmony Tori, because that's what the vocal is. Okay, I want to play you just this vocal for now, the main vocal. Okay, that's the main vocal in its dead center, and then we've got this harmony here doing its thing at that point in time. Okay. And this is leaning a little bit more to the left, and this whole vocal here, which is my sister, is leaning a bit. Now if you play them together, I'll play you my sister dry so you guys can see what she did. Another thing you must remember about harmonies, it's not about how loud you are, it's also about sticking to the note, because when you go off key or off note, people can hear it, especially when you're doing harmonies. So like she sang really softly there, and we boosted her vocals, like we pushed, like we can see we were pushing the compressor up a bit just so her vocal sticks out a bit more. And we don't really need a low end on her, so we're pushing the pushing the highs a lot more, because it's a goal. We're trying to get that nice sweet soft vocal sound out of it, and that's how we ended up with her sounding like that. So like if we play her by herself without the effects first. effects back on. We put quarter time because we wanted that nice long tail with her, you know, just for her vocal to carry on throughout the chorus. And if we play them together, that's what it sounds like again. Okay, so that's how I mixed these harmonies, and that's basically how I approach most of my harmony recordings and production per se when it comes to stuff like this. So I hope I have helped you. Just keep in mind stereo positioning and also what roles each harmony is playing. Like, when you're positioning them, keep in mind who's the prominent vocal. Obviously there's always going to be one central main vocal, and then depending on what each harmony is doing, like where we have a case of these harmonies are doing the exact same thing, we actually just pan these hard left, hard right almost, just to balance them. Just so if it's the same thing, okay, put it on different sides and leave this one a bit more central, just so it helps the track feel fatter and bigger and stuff like that. So yeah, keep that in mind when mixing vocals and so forth, and even with instruments, with guitars and stuff like that. Like you can see I've got stereo guitars going on here a lot, and these are all panned differently and stuff like that, and they're all doing different stuff. So yeah, I hope I've been helpful. Don't forget to follow the Disciples on Facebook. There's a link in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See you again next time. Project K signing out.